Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the DNVR Rapids Podcast. And we're back, baby. It's the fellas. I'm your host, Mitchell Carroll, a.k.a. I almost said Merchel. The old habit came back.
I was about to say the Merchel.
The Merchel.
The Merchel.
Joined by my illustrious compatriots. Cowboy Super, yeah.
There's another Burgundy I'm cheering for today.
Yeah, that's right. It's Avs Day,
Go
baby.
Avs, go.
Day.
Big Avs
Happy
Day.
Hockey Day.
We're also joined, of course, by downtown Duane Brown.
Hello. Welcome to a midweek soccer podcast that's not a post game. For
Midweek,
like the first time in 3 weeks.
midweek, bye week.
For the week.
Yeah, and that's it. We got a lot. I don't know if we have a lot to talk about. There's a lot of things that have been happening lately in the Pidsdom, if you will. Let's start with this week. We had a Burgundy Affair, end of year gala. Everyone gets all done up. Pids prom, as Pollard calls it. It was a blast. They did their event or their awards. They do the team awards, right? They do, Defender of the Year, and they do Young Player of the Year. That was Cole Bassett.
First of all, let's bring back a little bit.
You want to do the shirt first?
I want Duane to show off.
Okay, let's do that
the
first. You're right.
And then we'll hit it again.
Let's go.
Too
Upbeat.
sexy for my shirt. Too
Shirts are
sexy for my
here.
shirt. That's a good shirt. I should actually be naked in that shirt. I should not be wearing this.
Winnie
right
the
now.
Pooh style, just the shirt.
Just a shirt.
Nice.
Nobody can tell if I have pants on right now anyways. Man.
Winnie the Pooh just
I mean, look, watch. Crash has it going too. So
Crash has it. Johnny's gets in tomorrow. We were talking on Twitter. Yeah, it should be in your mailbox. If it's not, it'll be there probably tomorrow.
yeah,
That's awesome.
They're here.
they're great.
They're beautiful.
I'm a little bit delay on YouTube, so I saw us all dancing. We're gonna have to clip that for sure. So order your shirts. They'll make it in time for a playoff game. Absolutely. So go ahead and check that out. Okay, Burgundy Fair. They do their awards, right? They do defensive player, young player,
Community service.
That was Zack Steffen. No surprise.
Players guy.
Defensive player, also Zack Steffen. Which to me, when I think defensive player of the year, I don't include goalies for some reason, even though I know that's where they would go. How do you guys feel about a goalie winning the defensive player?
For this year, it's accurate.
Who else would get it?
Yeah.
But I don't know. To me, I'm not even speaking about Zach versus our defenders. To me, a keeper is its own category.
I think in general that's true. I think generally it is, but in soccer you only really play one keeper. So when
Right.
it comes to awards, you have to lump them in there.
Yeah.
When it's team awards, but like around the league, there's goalie of the year, then there's defender of
Right.
the year.
Those are different
I think,
things.
yeah, exactly. I think
Keeper is the last line of defense.
Fair
Yeah,
enough. You're
exactly.
right. You're
Yeah.
not wrong. It just feels weird to me.
award time, for team awards, I think it's fine to include them.
Sure.
Because of that little thing where it's like, who else are you going to give goalie of the year to?
Because who else would you?
There should also be goalkeeper of the year.
Correct.
Well, like
That would just be funny.
I mean, yeah, and they give it to Beaudry
No,
instead.
Steffen wins both.
Beaudry wins it without playing a single game. They didn't allow a goal.
Young player of the year went to Cole Bassett. How do you guys feel about that?
I was shocked,
surprise.
but
Shocked?
I was shocked for the reason that I just don't consider Cole a young player anymore. And then I looked up his
fair.
age, and I'm like, oh, he is still only 23.
He's a kid.
And I'm like, it wasn't because I don't think he deserved it for the play. It's just it didn't feel like he was young anymore. He'd be more. I'd go more to Ollie, and then I realized, oh, they're the same age. Cole just kind of carries himself as an
Right.
older man.
Right.
What is the cutoff age for that, by the way?
I don't know. I'm guessing Cole.
25?
I'm guessing Cole.
So Cole's gonna be winning this when he's like 38. He's 38.
No,
winning.
I just mean like I bet you next year Cole can't
it's
win
like
it.
24.
You know what I mean? I bet you,
Because there's
23, yeah.
U23.
Yeah, I think it's 23.
So
I think 24 would be
Yeah.
out of
so I
it.
think next year he can't, but this year he can.
we should do little quick predictions right after you name everybody.
Okay,
Let's
that's fine.
Yeah, for next year.
Fans player of the year. This one,
It has to be Lawless, right?
see, I would have said Lost because he has the most jerseys in the stadium.
No, it's J. Lou. It has to be J. Lou.
That's funny. Shout out J. Lou. He was actually balling at
No,
practice
J. Lou's
today.
been playing great. I love J. Lou right now. Right now, J. Lou.
It was Calvin Harris, won fan favorite player of the year. Surprising to me.
DJ fan favorite.
I mean, the English contingency in Denver is
That's
just
true.
voting for him constantly.
Has to be, right?
All those Premier League dudes are like English player on the Rapids, fan favorite immediately.
Has to be, I guess. He did truly find love in a hopeless place.
I wouldn't call. I mean, Commerce City is kind of hopeless.
Commerce City is
Yeah,
pretty
so-
hopeless.
Denver isn't, but
So I
Commerce
thought
City
that
for
was
sure.
interesting, at least. Not that there's anything wrong. I mean, we are Calvin Harris guys here. This is not shade at Calvin Harris. It's just surprising when it's
Why
not.
do you hate Calvin Harris?
Look, when
weird that
you
you hate
hear
Calvin
fan
Harris
favorite
so
and it
much.
doesn't go to Cole, Georgie, Hoffa, right? Like the goal scorers, it's surprising.
I really, if I had to put money on it, I would have probably guessed Ollie for that.
Interesting. People do love Ollie.
He's had so much love this year. Like
Yeah.
that's who I would have, if I was forced to bet, I would have bet on Ollie for that or Georgie.
I think part of it a little bit too is that it comes down to I would have thought Hoffa just because of the goals, right? People
Right.
love goals, so that's I kind of agree with it. But I think Calvin has had a really good year, and he has kind of been a low key fan favorite a little bit. There's a lot of soccer, and I'll say this with a lot of love, nerds out there
Sure.
that always find that underground guy that people just don't talk about, and then you just kind of stick to that guy, and
Yeah.
like, that's my guy. And that could have happened with Calvin, so I can see where it's
Well,
coming
Calvin,
from.
I mean, I think if he gets on the score sheet at all in Austin, he will have a 10-goal contribution this season.
No.
So, like, he's been involved as any of the supporting cast could be. So he's, I think it's actually a pretty good shout. There's part of me that thinks it would have been Cabral if he didn't break his elbow and miss
I
all
think
this time.
so, yeah.
Ooh, that
I
would be
really,
a good
there's like,
choice too.
he's so fast. He's so personable and likable.
And then Remy just shows up. It's like, oh, I'm Cabral.
That's so funny. We
Thank
should
you
have
for
just
the
parent.
award. And
How
then
did
just-
we not
and then
parent
he just
trap it?
runs really fast to get
How
away
did we
with
not
it.
parent trap it?
Well, I think
That's
what-
crazy. We could have done that this whole time.
I think it's when it's in Phoenix, and I think the logistics just don't work that well. Like if it was a Rapids 2
Recall the
anymore.
loan, bring him back.
Parent trapping would have been great.
It would have been so funny. We
I
should
thought
have at
about
least
that a
tried.
couple of
What's the
times.
worst that could have happened? Don't answer that because I'm sure it's actually terrible. Georgie was the player's player.
Makes sense.
Yep.
He's like a harsh dad, and I like that about him.
Yes,
He's a dad that if you call him daddy, he will beat the crap out of you. Like,
that's so funny.
man up, brother.
And then he was also the team MVP.
Yeah, makes sense.
100%.
I wonder how
easy.
much Hoffa got knocked for not knowing as much English.
He was in the games that I was watching. They did the 5-on-5 that rotates, and he's communicating really well. It's him and Cabral were having a conversation, which that seems hard, right? A Brazilian that knows Spanish and Portuguese and barely any English.
Yeah,
and a
but Cabral grew up in Europe.
Paris.
and
And every
Sure,
But they learn,
sure.
they're not
But
like
that
dumb
should be-
Americans. They learn like 5-6 languages.
Well, yeah, but
not
that's
you
a
guys.
hard-
You guys are dumb Americans.
you're dumb.
You guys
You're
are smart because you
by
guys want
dumb
to
Americans, I mean me.
Yeah, me, I'm dumb. You're dumb.
I took 4 years of French. I
Yeah.
can ask.
Anyways, I just
Where's-
thought,
where's
but
the
if
butter?
they're able to like joke around together, I don't think the language barrier is
I mean,
still
it's
there.
not that
You know
hard
what I'm
to learn
saying?
gibberish.
Like that to me, that's like the language barrier is probably good. Other than that, it was just such a vibe. Talk to everybody. The longest conversation I had was with Chris Little and Neil Emblem,
Oh, cool.
and I understood probably 95% of what they said. Neil's accent is thick,
Go
right?
Wolves.
So, no, shout out to those guys. It was great. It was a great event as always. They raised a bunch of money for Cronky Sports charities. Everyone got to dress up and look good and have fun.
Real quick, let's try to predict the winners for next year.
Okay, young player of the year.
Jackson Travis.
How old is Ollie? He's still
Ollie.
20.
He can still
Ollie would still be
Ollie,
in it for
yeah.
sure. I like the Jackson Travis pick a lot. I am going to say Kamani Stewart-Baines.
Come on, he's still okay. That's a
Ooh,
good
that's
one.
a good pick.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
when we offload some of these wingers and how
Yeah.
I predict in
Yeah.
the offseason. I think it'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Defensive player of the year.
That one's the hardest one, and I'm gonna go Reggie Cannon.
Boom, boom, boom.
Reggie
What's that?
Cannon.
Oh, those were the cannons? That's awesome.
It would have been funny if he did the whole.
Very authentic Cannon.
I'm going to
sound.
say it's Zack Steffen next year again because I think he's going to have a better year.
I thought it would have been funny
Yeah.
if Duane went boom, boom, boom and did the Pat McAfee thing where he like leads everybody one way
Yeah.
and then he's like, but I'm going
Keegan.
Sam Vines.
Yeah, that's so funny. No, yeah, I'm going to go.
Boombastic. Oh, that should be
I'm going to
his
say
name.
it's Zack Steffen again. Player's player.
I'm gonna say Ronan.
Georgie.
Golden Boot winner?
I think it's if Hoffa's still here, I think Hoffa gets it.
Yeah,
I
same.
would agree.
Same. Team MVP
Next year,
next year.
can the coach win MVP?
No.
No.
Damn.
Player.
I'm gonna go Kevin Cabral next year. I'm going to go dark horse.
Ooh, I'm sticking with Georgie.
Sticking with Georgie? I'll say Cole Bassett.
You guys are going with the smart picks. I like to go.
I'm going to go Cole
off,
Bassett.
Got a little spicy.
I think Cole's going to
Yeah,
have himself a year next year.
My little Latin taste of my picks.
I think
looking
Georgie
happens.
breaks the record next year.
Assists? Yeah, for sure.
or breaks a record. We don't know which one yet.
He's already broken one this year.
What if he
Yeah.
breaks like the golden boot record and he just has like 20 goals next year?
That'd be
He
sick.
just become
That
Lucho
would be
Acosta
wild.
out of nowhere.
Yeah, dude, if he goes
for
like
it.
15 and 15 or something.
Yeah, something to go like
that'd
20
be
and
so
10.
Sick. But yeah, shout out Burgundy Affair. Burgundy Affair is a great time. We appreciate being even allowed to go.
Well, me and Duane aren't.
you were.
No, we're not.
You
allowed.
both said no.
No,
You don't check your email. He had it was
I
a school
couldn't
night.
go.
Emilio called me and he's like, "You're not allowed to go. Don't even ask."
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
You hear that, guys?
understandable. I'd probably
Yeah.
do the same if I was Emilio.
I'm just too good looking for that kind of crowd. I think.
I had a nice. I looked good.
I bet you did.
I did. Black suit with the clean plain black tee under it, gold
Okay.
chain.
In a very Dwayne
And my
Johnson
blazers.
kind of.
It looked good.
I was about to say you look like The Rock in that picture. Where you
No,
go, "Hey."
Amelia looked like The Rock last year with the gold chain and the
did.
turtleneck.
He
So I don't
did.
even want to hear it. I don't look like The Rock. Okay, let's talk about. Shut up. Let's. What have we even put in the rundown? Oh, practice report. Yeah, I was at practice today, you guys.
How did you do?
How did I do?
Yeah.
Scored a bunch of goals. I slid everybody out hard, dude.
How many ankles did you take?
A lot.
Dope.
Yeah.
But how was practice in general?
Nate Jones was there. That was the first thing I noticed.
Let's go, my boy.
Nate Jones was there and involved.
my
Good for him.
boy.
On the roster for Austin.
And then Cole still not participating.
That's terrifying.
What do you think?
I think he's injured.
Thanks, Duane.
Well, it was precautionary 3 weeks ago, and it's not.
Yeah.
Dude's injured.
I think it honestly was, from what I can gather, is that it really was like, should we put him out of this? Should we let him play? Should we hold? And I think once he rested and didn't move a lot, they were like, oh, you're like injured. You know, and I think it was kind of one of those things where it was precautionary. And because they were so cautious with it, they realized it was worse than it was and he would have played through it.
I really want like a WWE entrance where he like comes in the ambulance to the game.
That's Cole
and he-
Bassett's music.
He comes up out of the coffin.
God dang it! That's Cole Bassett.
So I don't know. Like, we're gonna get some new information on that shortly. I know that. And it sounded to me not like he's done for the year. It's more like, is he going to play in Austin or is he going to play in the playoffs? Who knows? We'll find out.
I think if it's a playoff game, they push him.
Yeah, for sure.
I
I
think
think
that's
there's
the
no
thing.
doubt he's playing in the playoff game. I don't think
Yeah.
that's a question. It's whether or not
Save him.
he's ready to go in Austin.
And also, you just have all.
And I think okay, so they were doing this 5-on-5. They play 2 5-on-5 games, and if you lose, you'd switch fields.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, of course.
And Kevin was all-time offense, which to me says you're pretty ready to go, right? Feels like it.
Yeah.
I mean, if
Pretty
he's running, they're trying to get him.
If he's running
trying to
nonstop
get him
in a
in
game
form.
to score goals.
Also, you don't need your arm to play soccer.
Well, I know, but
yeah,
yeah,
like,
it's about falling and bracing yourself and
exactly.
all that
So it's
stuff.
like as long as you're not, and
Yeah.
Kevin is pretty good at not taking hits in general. So like
he loves to act like he
falls
took a
down
hit,
a
though.
lot.
Yeah, but like he doesn't actually take hits
Right,
themselves.
right,
Like,
right.
So it's like as long as you just can leverage yourself to the other side, I think you're fine. Like
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Yeah. So no Cole.
Very true. Bassett did run 10 marathons.
Yeah, Mark, for sure. That
I
is
think
a great
he also had
point.
like a triathlon in there when he was jumping and stuff like that. Like,
But no, other than that, I thought the team that had Kamani, Jonathan Lewis, Connor Ronan, Lawless, and Cabral as like the rotator was awesome.
that team's like
They were
unfair.
super fun to watch.
That's super unfair. You have 3 speedsters with Ronan just
With the distributor
setting it up.
and the
Yeah.
dog at the back.
Yeah.
The other one that I thought was funny was obviously Zack Steffen is in men's national team camp for the upcoming friendlies this weekend. And so Sharpie was the 4th keeper. Sharpie was
That's
on the
awesome.
team the whole time. And it looked like send that guy to our guys at Phoenix Rising right now if they need help in goal. He can do it.
They have to go. He has to play, right? He should be. They should make like a U55 league. Like
That'd be so funny.
A 55 and older, you can
Yeah.
play professionally still.
I don't know if he's that old, but however old he is, he should play in that league because he was
Well, give it a few years. And he'll be
beast
there.
moding it. It was cool to see. It was really fun to watch. Other than that, man, that was pretty much all they did. You know, it's
They're
the
taking
first
it
day
easy
back on your off
also.
week. The fact that they're even training 3 days versus just giving them vacation, I think, is a lot. So, or I guess it's the second day. They trained yesterday too.
I wonder if Armas will pull back a little bit on training come next year.
No.
And not like just since he has his system in place, it doesn't take as much for them, and they might just be more drill oriented, just
Maybe.
for them to get a little bit more rest. Because I think the hard training plus lack of rotation might have really hurt the Rapids at the end of the year.
They needed it though. The guys that were here needed that hard
No,
training.
and that's what I'm like,
because
it's
the
fine.
training the year before was just, it was light.
And again, it's
You know
fine.
what I mean? It
And
was
it's-
light.
No, and it is fine. Like, it's cool, like, that because they have to learn, they have to get it. But next year, if the guys know what they're doing a little bit more, I do wonder if he'll, like, be more lenient on a week like this and be like, hey, 2 instead of 3.
Yeah. Yeah. I am curious. I mean, I think when you go spend time at Carrington, right, and you have to set up a practice for Cristiano Ronaldo, you're now setting a standard for yourself that's like, this is what a training needs to
Yeah,
be for a
and then-
professional team,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
I don't expect him to make it lighter, but I think he can dial it in further, right, and hone in very specific stuff with his game plan.
Exactly. And then he went to Leeds, like an actual big club, and learned some more stuff.
Did you say big club?
Yeah, a huge club.
What league are they in?
The best league in the world, championship.
The championship?
Because
Okay,
it's
cool. That's
actually
what I thought.
because it's
Yeah.
actually competitive.
Interesting. That's what I thought. They suck. Okay, moving on.
Championship.
Yeah,
That's a cooler word
then premier. It is. It actually is. They really messed that up. It should have.
Oh, of course. It's
They
one of the
really-
dumbest things in the world of soccer. Absolutely. Let's see. Anything else from training today?
Did you find any likes out there? Because we don't have any right now, so they should be dropping them in here.
Hey, hit that like. You're all watching in here. I see Crash the Cars and Kevin and Mark. I'm the only one that means you two haven't liked it yet.
We're
Why
not
would
on
I
our
like my own
computers.
stuff?
What
That's
do you
weird.
mean? I like everyone.
I'm playing, which I always like our show.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Have to. So hit that like, please. By the time we're back from this ad read here in a sec, we'll get you to hopefully that's higher. I'm trying to think of anything else from practice of note. There wasn't. I mean, like I said, it wasn't a ton. It was cool seeing Kamani play up close. That guy he's what, 20 at the oldest?
No, he's like 18. I think.
Yeah,
he's like
he
young.
is like
He's really young.
he is Rip City jacked. He's gonna play next year a lot. I think
I hope
he's
he
gonna
does.
be so good. Oh, that made me think younger. Okay, so easily the funniest part of Burgundy Affair, because right, R2 shows up and some of like the better academy kids show up, and a lot of the first team guys aren't 21. So I go over to where they were all sitting to go start to talk to people and just see what's going on, and you could tell where R2 and the young guys were sitting because it's just it's like.
Sugary
It was
drinks.
Shirley Temples. You know what I mean? There was like cherries at the bottom of a cup with ice compared to like the wine glasses and beers
Yeah.
and stuff on the older players' tables.
Quick question: Is
Yeah.
Georgie a beer guy or a wine guy? Did you notice?
Yeah. Oh, I did talk to him. I think he had a cocktail in his
Because
hand.
I can see Georgie like.
I think he
drinking
had something in soda.
I can really see Georgie just like drinking a sophisticated glass of wine, but I can also see him shotgun a beer and then crush the whole can in his head and being like,
wanna
"Let's go, baby!"
I want to say he had either like a vodka soda or gin and tonic or something like that.
That's good to know. Now we know what to get him when he comes
Well,
in here and
but
talks
now
to
I
us.
can't. Now I'm thinking I can't remember. Most people were drinking wine. It's a classy event.
Yeah, I
right?
mean, Duane's drinking
Yeah.
like a vodka soda right now.
The soda is
A whiskey and Coke.
Yeah, the soda is Diet Coke.
A whiskey and Coke.
I had a blast. So, anyways, shout out to Burgundy Fair. Shout out to all the guys. Hopefully they can take it easy this week. No injuries in this training. I don't want to hear about someone getting hurt and they're out for 3 weeks during this week of training.
Go get drunk. Have fun.
Have a good time. All right. On the other side, we're gonna play stock up, stock down. We're gonna kind of see where things are at in Rapids land, and then after that, we'll talk about decision day and the things that can happen on decision day and where we want to end up versus where we can end up and all that stuff. But first, let's talk about our friends at Toyota. I've driven all around Denver lately in my Toyota. I have a Highlander. I love it. It is the favorite car I've ever owned. I can fit myself and 6 of my friends in there. Roll up to Red Rocks or
yourself in 3 Yayas.
3 Yayas.
I like to spread
6
out.
Mitchells.
This car can fit so many Yayas in it. Seriously, they're so dependable, comfortable, easy to drive. I have a blast. I've only had Toyotas in my life, and I will continue to do so for a long time. The one I haven't had, though, is a Toyota truck. Trucks are a huge part of what Toyota does, especially in Colorado. They build perfect cars for this state. If you want to get, you go the Tacoma, little TRD Pro Tacoma. You can even go the Land Cruiser. If you want all-wheel drive and you don't want the truck, but you want the big car, you can get the new 4Runner. Shout out, love the 4Runner. Or if you want to be green with your selection, right? If you want to reduce your carbon footprint with your truck purchase. You get your Tundra iForce Max Hybrid, one of 16 different hybrid vehicles to choose from, because Toyota has more low and zero emission vehicles combined than any other automaker. They also have great SUVs. I love my Highlander. They have the RAV4. They have the Grand Highlander. Those are perfect for driving around the city, perfect for the mountains, whatever you need. They have it for you. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of the Colorado Rapids and the official vehicle of DNVR. We are also brought to you by our friends at Empire Today.
I don't know the phone number, but
588-2300 Empire Today. You get shop at home convenience for your floors. This one isn't Empire.
Not yet.
This one's like
Not
100
yet.
years old.
But Toyota Lounge,
It's Empire.
that's Empire.
Yep.
We know.
Yep.
We
All
use
of
those
our
floors daily.
studios across the network are Empire.
Really?
It's almost like they're helping us build our own empire.
From the ground up. Or the floor up.
You're welcome, Empire.
Bang! We're so good at this. Look, Empire is the best place to get new flooring. They cannot be beat on quality, service, and speed. They want to take the decision making. They want to streamline the decision making, right? Instead of handing a catalog this thick with 1,000 choices, they find the best options for flooring and they present those. So you know that what you're looking at is going to be worth the investment that you're making in your house. It's a big decision and they know that, and they want to make it easy and smooth for you. They have a virtual floor designer where you can take a picture and then just swipe floors through. Boom, boom, like you're on you're on Hinge or something. Is Hinge a swiper?
I'm married though.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know about that.
I've been in a relationship since before those existed. That's my guess, though. You just sit there and go, new floor, looks good. Or not. Maybe it looks bad and you don't want it. You don't have to buy it. But they service all their own warranties. If you have an issue, just call them. They do everything. It's not, it's not like you're going to a big box store where someone goes from gardening one day to light fixtures the next, to flooring. These are people that are dedicated to giving you the best possible service. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use promo code DNVR. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/DNVR for details. Okay, everybody, we are back. DNVR Rapids on a Wednesday afternoon in Denver, Colorado. Beautiful fall day today, guys.
Yeah, I just wish it was a little bit chillier.
Little chillier.
Yeah.
You might say summer. day. You might say summer day.
No,
But it's not 100.
and I woke up cold.
Yeah. It just needs to be about 5 degrees cooler.
It's like
Yeah.
upper 80s every day here.
Yeah,
We're in a
It's
weird
insane.
time.
It's insane.
Weird
Colorado
time.
sucks.
But hoodie weather at night, which is
Yeah.
what I'm about.
Oh man, that's good.
I'm about that life.
I
You
mean,
know
I want it during the day to like, so my love handles, you can't see them, you know? Like, I don't want it till the night. You can barely even see them at night. Like, it's
would you
funny.
say fall stock is up?
Fall stock has never been higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Not
Well, that
even
is
seen
a
any fall
perfect
yet.
segue. We are playing stock up, stock down.
This is my arrow.
Hit the stock report thing.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
You're doing great. Look at that thing. That's so good.
Yeah, Duane does a good job of making these graphics.
If there's oars in it, Duane did it.
Yeah.
Paddles? Oars.
Those are paddles.
Paddles. Oars are in the thing.
Oars are connected
As
to
the
boat.
legendary Joseph moment where he learned about that and blew his mind.
It's fine. It doesn't matter either way.
So fun.
But Duane will fight you about
But
it.
Duane will.
No, I won't. I've
You
let it
better
go.
come
I've let it go.
correct.
I let it go.
Okay, first, stock up, stock down. Now, remember, this team's coming off 4 out of 5 losses. Decision day staring them in the face. The best they can do is the 5th seed.
Well, we don't got to go many. People know this.
We're just
It's
setting
like,
the
yeah.
table, baby. That's
People
what we
know
do.
the table.
Now let's serve it up. Zack Steffen, stock up, stock down. I say sideways. Yahya says sideways. Duane Brown goes up. Yahya, why are you sideways?
I'm sideways because I think he just leveled up a lot in Leagues Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And even though the defense has left stranding, he still has just done enough. He hasn't been able to do more because the Heat doesn't have any help. So it's just kind of even right now.
Yeah, to me, it's like, I don't really care what his stretch looked like between Leagues Cup and the playoffs because I know when it's time to make a big save, he's going to be there and he's going to do whatever he can to make that save.
Including get a black
You
eye.
know, and there's going to be, some games where he gets left on an island and looks terrible. And
Yeah.
that's just what it is. But also I know that he is Captain Clutch and when it comes to make or break, that he's one of the few guys I know for sure I want out there.
Yeah.
So that's why nothing has changed for me. Whereas my stock is probably pretty high. It's still sideways because it hasn't changed.
Yeah. How about you doing? Why did he go up?
Because our defense has gone so far down.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's
The
actually a great
last
point.
4 games, there could have been 20 goals scored against us.
Yeah.
And there hasn't been because Zack Steffen has had to stand on his head, get kicked in the face, get a black eye, do what he has to do to make crazy saves just to keep it from getting absurd every game lately. So I think he's continuing to be on the rise. That's why he's out of town this weekend with the national team. His stock is up.
Well, it's kind of a glass half full, half empty. Like, how do you look at it? You're looking at it in a positive view because that is a good point. Me and Mitch are looking at it like it's still a glass. Like,
Right.
Sure.
still
Sure.
something in there. Like,
it is a glass.
It's
Okay. Little rough stretch, rough patch. Got a little salty in the post game. Chris Armas, stock up, stock down.
This has nothing to do with my guy. Like, he is still my dude. But
I don't want any other coach other than him.
no,
but
hell no.
you just lost a bunch of games.
And again, part of it is due to all the things that he's done at the beginning of the year, which were great.
Rocky Mountain Cup.
Exact, but it's
Leagues
also,
Cup.
But it's not just that; it's also like the negative of not rotating. And
Right.
There's been rumors out there of some other little things that he can't control, right? Like things going on with the club, and even though it's not up to him, like he still has to rotate. He still has to do all these things. He still has to keep the guys engaged. And you've seen the Rapids not engaged, really tired, and there's been a lot of frustration in that team. Doesn't mean that he's lost the squad. It just means that it's not going how it should.
Fair enough. Dwayne?
Yeah, I think when you look at roster, again to what Yahya is saying, when you've got a squad that is struggling on depth, struggling on injuries, struggling on everyone is tired, does that mean that you maybe need to shift rosters more, or some of the starting lineups have been questionable, like the Yappy Omir starting on the wings to me. I that one still puzzles me. And then you look at formation too. Like given the injuries and given that you're pulling guys from the bench, do we switch up our formation and go 4-4-2 or something, different?
I
don't know. That's why I'm not smart enough to be an MLS coach. I just look at, we're on a bit of a downward trend right now. The squad's not looking great. There's some problems. I do think Austin will look very different. But for now, you look at results and that's a down arrow for me.
Yeah, and if you bring them down, it's from a 95 to a 90. It's not you're not bringing them down from 90 to 2.
Totally.
I kept mine sideways. I'm not going to just do sideways every time, I promise.
I know you're a cheater. You might.
You might. Screw it. He's been terrific this year, but he's going to get a sideways from me. This guy is garbage, but for me, he's a sideways.
I was at practice today. The guys were as into it and intense, and nothing changed, right? Like this slide, while fans are probably freaking out, nothing is different over there, right? From when they were playing at their absolute best to right now when they're playing in their worst form of the season. They are together. They are trying hard. They are working hard. Lawless was intense today, right? And he just has a culture there. And then, I was able to sit down with Keegan and Ollie for a thing that's coming up in a couple weeks that will drop here on DNVR. And they too, they're like, look, we trust each other, right? Like we all know the system. We're not overthinking when we're out there. Like we just play soccer because we know where to be. And to me, that means that he is still doing a good job despite the results lately. And that's why I'm going to keep it sideways.
Counterpoint, results do matter though, right? And
sure.
That does deserve a little bit. Maybe you're not fully sideways,
5 games,
but a little bit downward maybe.
5 games is a small sample.
But very important. It's clutch time.
Sure.
It's not just 5 games. It's clutch time. 5 games. It's missing it's like missing three pointers to win the game in back-to-back shots, right?
In the win, I thought they looked as good as they have all year against Toronto. I thought they had a good game against Galaxy, even though they ended up losing 3-1. I don't know. I'm not as worried.
No, and it's not worrying, man. It's just
and luckily they have Austin coming up. That's a team you should smoke. They don't have a coach.
They should have smoked SKC.
Sure.
Yeah, that's no longer
SKC was at
given.
least tuning up for a cup final. That's a little different than going to Austin, who just fired their coach.
I feel like that's a more advantage to you.
Austin has a chance to get in.
Yeah,
some things have to break their way, but they do have a reason to play.
And who's the other team they lost in that stretch? That was
Minnesota.
A bad team? Minnesota.
They're not bad. They're
low,
playing well,
but
they're
you
playing
should have
well.
beat them.
Yeah,
should have.
Yeah, you're right. All right, fair enough. Okay, stock up, stock down. Porg Smith. Up across the board. Who wants to go first? Why are you guys stock up? You want me to go first?
Let Duane. Hasn't gone first yet.
No one is constantly screaming and yelling about this roster for the first time in years. I don't know any other argument than that. Twitter has been misery for years. The show has sometimes been misery for the last couple seasons.
God, last year sucked. I've been listening back for a project we're doing. And it's horrible.
And a lot of that is roster makeup. And when you take a roster that creates that much misery, and even though the last few games have not been good, this is one where it's Porg's a weird one because where you look at players and you look at Armas, stock reports are, what have you done for me lately? For Porg, you still have to kind of look at the whole team, as a collective group. But one thing the Rapids never do is bring in a player at the end of the season when things are getting rough. Sam Vines went down with an injury. Porg Smith brought in Reggie Cannon. That there was tweaking involved to get him out of his contract so that he could start this year versus next. That was a good move, man.
It was a great move.
I like Reggie on this team. And so it's up for me, man.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, look, we know that the turnaround happened because of the pieces he was able to bring in, right? Mm-hmm. He chose Chris Armas when the world thought it was a terrible decision. I mean, everyone, us right here, we were not stoked about that decision.
Pretty neutral on it.
I think
Go
you're
back to the show. I'm pretty neutral. I stand by that.
No, I'm still laughing. I'm just laughing at the way you interjected. Not your
I was
take.
like, I was never down on it. I was just kind of like, oh, we'll see how it goes. And it's been awesome.
Fair.
either way. He made that selection. He went and got Georgie. He brought Sam back. He brought Cole back. He brought Steffen in on like a great deal in terms of the actual deal itself to bring in a guy like that. And he's about to have a bunch of money to play with because a bunch of contracts are coming off the books, right? Like a bunch. Like he has, he's going to have the Jonathan Lewis money will be off the books, whether or not he comes back or resigns. Lawless is who I do expect to re-sign, but for a much lower figure. That money's off the books. Danny Wilson and Sam Nicholson will no longer be accounted for. There's I think he's going to have like over $1.5 million in annual salary to be able to hand
some
out
Bombi money in
and
there.
not losing. Well, that's for the acquisition part. I just mean in terms of payroll.
Yeah.
The contracts he can afford to give out are he can bring in some impact guys. He can bring in some TAM level guys. And I'm just, you know what? Maybe that doesn't, it doesn't mean he's going to bat 1,000 on him, even if he had a great offseason, but there's no time to be higher on than right now.
Yeah, again, everything you guys have said is right. Like I do agree. Like I think
That's true.
Yeah, you guys are right. It's true. Like how do I deny that? Right? Like bring out the chacal and take me out. But to play a little devil's advocate, I do think it's up. I think he's done a great job. I think he could have done a better job, in all honesty, in some aspects. But he is working with a limited budget, a limited everything.
Sure.
Not getting another defender in the transfer window kind of scared me at the time. Not making a move for another winger because they really trusted it kind of messed with me a little bit as well. But in the whole overall arc, he got an A, right? It's A, and I wouldn't go A+ because I think those move to help
but
out.
an A is good.
An A is still good. Like you passed with flying colors. You got a 98 instead of 100. And I'm saying this not because I don't like Park. He's actually a great guy. I like talking to him. I think he's done a really good job. But it's also, I think it's fair to point out like there should have been some more moves to go along with it, just to maybe not make the team so dependent on so top heavy right now.
What USMNT fringe player is joining the Rapids this winter?
Lucas de la Torre.
Oh, interesting. Who do you think?
Oh man, Evan, let's bring Sargent in.
Let's go,
Walker Zimmerman. I can go off like Walker Zimmerman.
Cameron
like,
Carter Vickers, maybe.
Cameron
Pull him out
Carter
of Scotland,
Vickers,
get
like-
him stateside, baby.
There's another guy that I was thinking about.
John David Brooks.
John David Brooks. Nah, I don't like Brooks that much.
I love
yeah.
Brooksy, baby.
Yeah, well, he's a Schalke guy.
No,
Oh, he was it?
no.
Oh, I thought.
No, but he's a German kid. I think he's
Yeah.
Werder Bremen. But he,
Yeah.
when he scored his first international goal, and he was just like, he had the most like, holy shit moment of all time. Like
Language, but yes.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. You
I'm not
can't
supposed
say
to cuss right now.
How dare you?
Well, now we
dare
got
you,
banned.
sir.
Great. Brendan Vasquez. I don't think you need a striker.
Yo, Vasquez would be
I
sick
think
though.
defense is going to be.
No, yeah,
and
defense.
wingers are going to be
Cameron
your
Carter-
biggest.
Cameron Carter Vickers.
And maybe a winger. Like, go get Musa.
Ooh,
You can't.
the
He's
Messiah.
expensive as hell. You're not going to afford it.
No, we
but-
don't have that money.
Nobody in
We don't got that money.
that
That would
money.
be dope.
But
I'd love Musa on this squad.
okay, real quick. This has nothing to do with stock up, stock down. I think. Well, let's do one more on stock up, stock down. The offense.
Oh, the offense,
As a whole.
just as a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, I can do this for defense and offense, in my opinion. It should be down on both. But I'll let Mitch expand first.
Look, this team is still up there next year. I don't know if they're at the top. I haven't looked at the stats recently if they're still top of the league, but they're close. They create chances, but they don't finish. And since Duane created those beautiful tracker graphics for the goal record and the assist record,
not my fault.
Hoffa hasn't scored. He's on a dry spell right now. And this is an offense, I think, where it takes one gorgeous goal to get going again. So I don't think this is like oh no, the offense is screwed, because I think they come out and if they score in the first 15, 20 minutes in Austin, everything is fine. Yeah. But in these losses, in this 4 out of 5, you've been outscored 10-4. You're not going to win very many playoff games. You're not going to survive many playoff rounds putting up less than a goal a game. It's just not going to work. You got to score to win in this league. And when you look at teams that made runs last year, like look at Columbus, they're going to score 3 goals. Like that's the baseline. Is they're going to score 3 goals. Miami, same thing. All the contenders, LAFC, Galaxy, they're going to put up goals. So you got to find it now. I just force feed Rafa in Austin, and this will be going up.
I've said this before. I'll go on record again. XG is the dumbest stat in sports.
Why?
Say it for the people in the back that didn't hear.
XG is the dumbest stats in sports. I don't give a crap what's expected. You know what stat I like? G.
Just G?
Just goals.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought gangsta.
Gangsta goals. I don't...
Google.
Who cares how many goals are expected? Dude, like we were leading the lead and we've been outscored 10-4. Like who gives a crap what's expected? Like...
I mean, I think it shows like what your offense, like how consistently your offense can get itself into dangerous positions. I think there's a use for it.
But it's... I think it's stupid.
Isn't it as stupid as the Apple wins prediction graphic?
No, well, that's a graphic. That's the dumbest graphic in history.
Well, it's a stat. It's win probability.
It's a graphic for me. I make pictures for a living.
Fair enough.
That is the dumbest graphic in all the land. I don't care about expected. Like,
sure,
you don't wow. Like, no one wins. Like,
expecting
no
to
one wins because you have a high expected goals. Like, that doesn't give you a W. Like, actual goals give you a W. And so, XG aside, like, we're not finishing, and again, we talked about this a few weeks ago, but like, there's something real weird with the offense right now where everyone is crowding the middle and no one's pulling center backs anywhere.
Yeah.
It's just all bottled up in the middle.
We need Kevin back.
And there's no goals because there's a bunch of bodies in the other team's colors in the way. In addition to missing the goal on shots. I mean, we've had a lot of like crazy shots lately. But G, it's
get some G's.
That's the stat I need is the G. No
the
X.
To me, it falls a lot on the wingers. I've said this multiple times. I think the wingers are just exhausted.
Yeah.
It's a very demanding position in Armas' system. And they just don't seem to be playing correctly, like from Lawless to J-Lu has actually been the best winger the last 5 games. But Omir, Yappy, anybody you put out there right now is just not getting the job done. It's leaving Georgie in an island with he's being the only creator with Cole out, and you need one of those wingers to step up, help out a little bit more. Rafa has been missing quite a bit, but I don't blame Rafa and Georgie as much because they rely a lot on the wingers to take defenders out of their way, get the ball into dangerous positions, and they just haven't done that. And the missing key that is Cole Bassett, right? Yeah. I said it a couple weeks ago. That's the key to the Cole car. Without that, it doesn't turn on, and you've seen it. Like it makes it a lot harder for your star players to be able to come in and get that goal, get going again. And that's where I'm like, if Cole comes back and these wingers can get a little bit of rest, and Cabral comes back, they're gonna score 3 goals on you, and I believe that.
Yep.
All right. We're going to come back on the other side. We're going to talk decision day. We're going to talk a little bit of news that just came up recently. But first, got to do a little housekeeping and talk about ourselves, our own house.
Do it.
Let's talk about
us.
Our DNVR Buffs tailgate this weekend. You got the Buffs taking on Kansas State, ranked Kansas State. Big game in Boulder.
Super late game.
Late game. Party starts at 4:00 at our tailgate behind the old Harpo's Bar, 29th and Arapahoe. We have Abo's Pizza coming.
I recommend taking a nap right before you come down with us, and then you can just party all night.
Breck Brew. We're going to be having a blast. We have Riki's. We got all the fun stuff. The RV will be there. Neely and the DNVR Buffs boys will be there. You can meet them, hang out with them, say what's up, say go Buffs a whole bunch of times. Sco Buffs, sorry. Say it 30, 40, 100 times at the tailgate.
They love to.
Play some beer pong, play some bags, and then walk over and have a great time at the game. It's going to be a blast. Check that out. After that, the next home game is the Cincinnati game. It's homecoming. It's a huge game. There's a ton. It's like the biggest recruit game in terms of like how many recruits they have going. It's like a big game, and we have a takeover tickets for it. The cheapest ticket I could see on Game Time is $20 more expensive than our takeover ticket. And that comes with parking at our tailgate and tailgate entry and game ticket. It's a no-brainer if you are a Buffs fan and want to make it to a game, is to go to the DNVR.com/events and get tickets there. And then Sunday, heck, do a Buffs tailgate Saturday and then show up at the Broncos tailgate on Sunday.
And if you don't got tickets to the game, you should still go to the tailgate.
Yep.
Then you can come back to the bar.
Yeah.
And you can hang out with some cool guys like Noshawn and Todd and Jarrell. Who knows? There might be a special guest coming in with a big legacy onto his name. So keep an eye out for that, because that tailgate is a great way to come to the bar already hooked up and ready to go and Broncos pilled.
It's so much fun. It's the most fun I've ever had getting ready for football games. I had a blast last Sunday. I won't be in town this Sunday, but Spence does a great job, has a good crew.
Real quick, I just want to say how stupid it is that they're barely having their homecoming when they've already played at home. That's the whole premise, was to play the first game at home as homecoming. Just stupid.
What?
No, that's not what homecoming
That's
is.
It
how
should
it
have been.
works
That's
at
what it
all.
should be. Like, that's how they do it in high school.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's how I did it in my high school. Your first home game, that was homecoming.
No.
What?
Yeah, that's what
Homecoming is after you play
Yeah,
away
it's a fall
in the
time
league,
thing.
and then you come back. That's homecoming.
that's just still stupid.
Well,
I
that's
hate
what
it
it
so
is.
much. It's still stupid.
It sounds like you don't know what it is.
I know what it is, because that's how we did it at my high school. It's still
It's like you're
stupid.
describing expected homecoming instead of actual homecoming.
I find homecoming stupid as hell in general. But Mitch is gonna die over here. Mitch is absolutely dying.
We're not XH guys over here. Like,
No.
we're
Oh, that
homecoming.
was
I still think
so
homecoming is
funny.
stupid.
Okay, we also have Avs and Nuggets takeovers live on the site right now. So come hang out. Nuggets takeovers and Avs takeovers are so fun.
Also, a lot of guests come through. We've had Conley in here after the takeover. We had Reed. Eric's bringing a bunch of his buddies, so it's gonna be a good time all
It'll be
year
a blast. So check that out. If you missed out on the 3-on-3 basketball tournament, sucks to be you, because it was cool as hell. And you're going to have to wait till next
Who
year
won
when we
that?
do it again. The DNVR guys made it to the championship and lost. Yeah.
Bummer.
And Adam was limping around here on Monday.
But they won a bunch of injuries.
Wind and Adam were looking a little rough earlier.
Hey, they
this
had a
week.
good time.
They look good now, though.
There's a watch party, DNVR Nuggets watch party on Tuesday.
And there's a big special guest.
Yeah, Ariana Lenarski is coming out to do the Tarot Show. It is my favorite podcast that we do across the whole network every year.
Same.
She does the tarot readings for the Nuggets season, and she will be in the bar doing tarot readings for you if you want to do it. And you can just meet her and hang out with the Nuggets guys and watch some basketball, some preseason basketball. It's going to be a good time. So make sure you check that out. All of that is at thednvr.com/events. All right, we're back. DNVR Rapids hanging out on a Wednesday afternoon. Final segment before we get into decision day, guys. I have to ask you what you guys think about Greg Berhalter as the director of football and head coach of the Chicago Fire.
If you want my honest opinion,
I do.
I do not care.
I have not kept up, so this is the first time I've heard that news.
Oh,
I've been super busy.
it was announced yesterday. So
Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff going on here at DNVR in ALLCITY. That's hilarious.
yeah.
One of the worst run MLS organization, probably the worst run organization in MLS, just got not better. Incredible. Mm-hmm. Incredible.
You don't have any thoughts on it?
My thing is, I think he could do a good job. That's cool. Like, I think he'll be better in the MLS than he will in national team. But is he talent reliant, or is it just him?
I mean, at least they made a change. Because last year they extended the entire front office that has made that club very, very bad.
Well, I have some news for
They've
you.
got some real bad contracts.
That same front office is the one that made this move.
Oh, I thought they didn't replace somebody with him. They just added him.
Well, he's the coach, but
He's the
front
head
office
coach.
is different. Yeah.
And he runs the front office.
Oh, is he doing both?
He's doing both.
That's so stupid.
Well, I'm just telling you.
No, I'm not. You're not stupid.
I know. I'm a genius.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far.
It's a bold move, Cotton. We'll see.
I'm a genius. Where did this clinching thing go? Keep vamping.
Wow.
Would you guys keep vamping, please? Thank you. No. That means talking.
Get naked, Dwayne.
Vampires? What?
That means talking.
Okay, real quick. What's the best Halloween costume you can have as a Rapid?
Rapid Man.
Rapid Man?
What's the
which
best
player?
costume you can have in the whole world ever for any holiday? It's Rapid Man.
Okay, what's the best player to dress up as?
Rapid Man.
No, player. That's a mascot.
He's a player.
No, I hit my wife
who
when
would
he was
you
coming.
dress up? Who would I like for anybody or for me personally?
Anybody.
Current roster.
Current roster.
Oh man. Well, I'm not shaven, so I'm gonna have to go with Keegan.
Just because of the beard.
Yeah.
Let's say you don't have to shave. Which would he go? Who's the coolest guy?
Who's the coolest?
It has to be
Rapid
Rafa,
dress up?
right? You get like the little fake neck tattoo, Jordan tattoo on you.
That would be pretty fun.
And then you can buy like the Justin Timberlake wig with the little
Jasper's
curl.
got cool hair though.
He does.
Like
Jasper's cool.
Jasper
for sure.
would be a fun like wig costume.
But I think having Rafa's wig would be cool too because it's the Justin Timberlake
yeah.
NSYNC
Well, I
era.
like all of the stick-on neck tattoos.
Yeah, that'd be
with
fun,
Rafa.
right?
That's a good idea.
Like,
Okay, I got it. All right,
No, we're just
everyone,
gonna.
shut
Sorry,
up.
you're in Halloween land now.
Oh, okay.
This is Halloween.
Okay,
This
so
is
I can be
Halloween.
Chris Armas, right?
Fair.
Pretty easy for me.
Andrew
Chris
Goodman,
Armas.
you can also be Andrew Goodman if you want to go like with a really scary one
Ooh, spooky.
with the Chicago Fire.
Connor Casey?
Yeah, that's not spooky though.
Well, I know. I'm just saying. All right, here's how this
None of
goes.
them are spooky.
Andrew Goodman is in the Chicago Fire.
Okay,
He just lives in spooky world.
clinching scenarios on decision day.
Oh man, how many pages is this?
Not a lot.
Okay.
Because there's
It's
only
only
one
4.
day left. Yeah. There's only one day
'Cause those
left.
lists
This
get
isn't 4 games
comprehensive.
left. Okay. The Rapids can finish as high as 5th. They can finish as low as 8th.
Boo.
Jesus Christ. Okay. To finish 5th, there are 2 ways they can do it. They can beat Austin,
They're going to.
and
Done.
And Dynamo has to lose or tie against Galaxy.
Ooh, that's probably going to happen also.
Yeah, pretty likely.
What if both happen?
Also, is Galaxy resting his
You
players?
need both to happen. That's
Well,
the
like,
thing.
what
Oh,
if Galaxy's
both
off?
have to
Yeah,
happen?
Both have to happen.
yeah. Galaxy.
Well, both are going to happen.
No,
so
Galaxy
that's
might
good.
be resting some guys too.
Well, they did that. Royce didn't play the Rapids and they smoked
Yeah,
us.
that's one guy, but
Well, I'm just
Ricky
saying.
Puig and all these guys might just be taking.
Well, they're going to have a bye, so they're not going to arrest anybody. The other is you draw with Austin. Dynamo has to then lose to Galaxy. Minnesota United has to lose or tie to St. Louis, and Vancouver has to lose or tie to Salt Lake.
I like the first one better, where you win.
Yes, just win, right? No matter what, you clinch a 6th spot if you win.
Too many things for me. Just
Well, I'm just saying, winning, you are 6th at worst, and then it depends on Houston for the 5th spot.
You can't be 6 because then you're out there in the play-in, and you
No,
have
you're
to
not.
avoid the play-in.
6th, you're not in the play.
I thought it's
Not
6 through
playing.
9.
No, it's just 8 and 9.
Oh, they play each other. That's right. My bad.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the NBA one.
So actually, they can finish. Yeah, okay. Right. Okay, so 6th, you beat Austin. If Minnesota loses or ties to St. Louis and the Whitecaps lose to Salt Lake, you're 6th.
You just have to. You can't be in the play-in.
If you tie, Dynamo lose, Minnesota lose, you're in.
So let's say you end up in 6. Who's your most likely matchup there at 3?
Real Salt Lake.
I take that in a heartbeat. I think the Rapids can be RSL.
I would love a Rocky Mountain Cup in the playoffs personally. Right now, the 3 seed is Sounders.
And I think you can take on the Sounders too with Cole on. If you have Cole,
So,
that's a different game.
LAFC still has a game in hand, as does Vancouver, right? So LAFC, let's say they win their game in hand. They will be on 61 points, and Seattle can't catch them. Seattle and RSL are tied on points. You're either playing Seattle or RSL is really what it comes down to.
if you're 6. And
If you're 5th or 6th.
and the
Yeah.
thing is, I think you have a good chance against either of those teams in all honesty.
Now, if you fall down to 7th, 8th, 9th, whatever, then you're taking on one of the LA teams. But almost for sure, just based on those scenarios, you're playing
can't-
Seattle or Salt Lake.
You can't face an LA team. You've sucked so
I think
much
you want
against
that
them.
4th, 5th slot. So you
Fifth,
play
sixth.
Galaxy before. No, it's 4th, 5th.
What do you mean? They can only get as high as 5th.
No, I'm saying you want to be playing 4th, 5th. So
Oh,
you play
okay,
the
okay.
1 seed Galaxy instead of playing the 2 seed LAFC. I think you want to be as far away from LAFC as possible.
Yeah. You can't play the LA teams. You just can't. And not in the first round, at least, if you want to make a little bit of a run.
All right, who would you guys prefer? Salt Lake or Seattle?
Duane?
I mean, I think they pretty easily could have won that Seattle game. And we've seen them beat Seattle and we've seen them beat Salt Lake at home and on the road this
They
year.
could have easily beat either of those teams if it wasn't.
I think we have a better chance of beating Seattle, but I want Salt Lake so that we send them out of the playoffs.
I prefer Seattle for the easier thing. But my whole thing is you always want the harder path
To make a better title.
to make it a funner title, but you're just not winning the title this year. I think I agree with Duane. You want RSL so it can be like a funner environment.
The expected FU, the XFU, if you will, is Real Salt Lake.
But there's the thing. If Salt Lake knocks you out of the playoffs, it kind of takes the sting away from the Rocky Mountain Cup. It does. It does. They now you're back to 0, and it's like you have nothing over RSL.
You still have Rocky Mountain Cup.
Yeah, but it takes the sting out of it, and that's the truth because you can say,
Yeah.
"Oh, we took them Rocky Mountain Cup." It's like, yeah, we
but
knocked you
they're
out of
not
the
going to
playoffs.
win the MLS Cup either way.
They're
So-
not, but they have bragging
so
rights
they
at that
still-
point.
No, they don't. They still don't have the Rocky Mountain Cup.
I think playoffs are higher up
I
there.
agree with
than-
Duane.
They got
than Rocky
nothing.
Mountain Cup.
They got
I agree with Duane.
nothing on us. You got
I agree with
nothing
Duane.
on us.
I think Seattle. I think you should have beaten Seattle in Seattle. Right? They blew the penalty, and I think you should have beaten Seattle this game. I think you played well enough to win, and you just couldn't finish.
Can we play like San Jose Earthquakes or something?
That'd be
Can
fun.
we like choose our first round opponent? That'd
be fun.
That'd be funner, I think.
I'm way into that.
Like they should do like with the with like if you win the number 1 seed in the MLS Next Pro, you get to choose who you get to play.
Right,
That's
right.
dope. Like do that. Like
That
have
would be
some fun
sick.
with
Who
it.
would you choose then? Any playoff team.
any playoff team, Minnesota.
So that's whoever wins between Portland and, if it all stays the same, whoever wins between Portland and Vancouver, although Vancouver has the game in hand, so I doubt they're that low. But Portland, Vancouver, Minnesota, Houston, Salt Lake, Seattle, LAFC, Galaxy. I think Vancouver's the choice.
I agree.
I go Minnesota still. Not.
Minnesota killed. They won both games.
Yeah, but I don't
You
believe
got
in
no
St. Clair.
points from Minnesota this year.
I don't believe in St. Clair.
Yeah, he's a fraud.
If it's the
You're a
playoff,
fraud.
if we go
Not
to the
against us,
playoffs,
he's not. He was last year.
He's a fraud.
my thing is if you go into the playoffs, I'm looking at goalie matchups. That's the first thing because I think we have the better goalie than most of the MLS, and I think St. Clair sucks. So give me
I'll take Steffen over
most of them, right?
the whole West.
Yeah, I would take Steffen over, but it's what's in front of Steffen. That
Playoff stuff is different, baby. We saw
the
it.
way the back line goes is the way Steffen goes.
Turny
That's a good point. That's a good
Stefan
point.
is different.
That's true.
I know.
a great point, guys.
I think
Great
this
point.
is a tourney team. And playoffs is a good thing for us.
I agree. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us this week here on DNVR Rapids. Thanks for hanging. Next week, just these two guys, just these two yahoos. I'm going to be on a trip with my wife for our anniversary. I'll be on a beach in Santa Barbara, California. I'm very excited for that. But make sure to tune in with these guys next week. Duane, will you plug us out of here, please?
Hey, friends, if you haven't hit that like, sure would be friendly to do so. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen, give us a great review. Hit that 5-star. If you want to add in some notes about how much you enjoy it, that's cool too. That's what keeps DNVR rolling and certainly what helps us at DNVR Rapids rolling with ads and everything else so that we can keep getting out to the ballpark and keep getting out to practices and everything else so that we can keep covering the Rapids for you. And talking to you, whether you're here at the upcoming watch-alongs and watch parties for the playoffs that we'll be doing here at the bar. All of those things happen because of your great reviews. So please do so. If you're not following already, look at DNVR_Rapids on the Twitters. You can follow us as well. Yeah, what's yours?
DNVR Rapids.
He's just going with the company man. Mitch on Twitter.
Oh, I forgot that Minnesota game was where they went up and that the Rapids came back. I know, but I'm just saying they came back, remember?
It's not that important.
No, but it is, but they got a point. It wasn't none. Okay, I'm going.
Where do we find you on Twitter?
Mitch _ Carroll.
And you can
Become a
find
diehard
me
at the DNVR.
Duane Brown.
Become a diehard at DNVR.com. Gets you all sorts of cool stuff. You've heard it a million times. More important than all of that, baby, up the PIDs.
We all silly like the mayor.